News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A humble warrior laid to rest. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Tuesday, June 28th, 2016. Had quite the tumultuous night. We had some storm activity, lots of lightning and thunder overnight. Looks like that system has passed through the area. We're sitting at 63 degrees in Missoula right now. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Office City, celebrating 100 years in business this year. See them for office supplies and furniture, price match guarantee, and free next-day delivery. This morning's top story, mission complete. Those were the words spoken at the graveside service for Staff Sergeant David Thatcher of Missoula, one of the last two remaining Doolittle Raiders. Thatcher passed away Sunday at the age of 94. He was buried with full military honors yesterday at Sunset Memorial Cemetery. According to Officer in Charge Lieutenant Colonel Michael Epper, USAF, Epper spoke of his high regard for Thatcher and the other Doolittle Raiders and what they accomplished.
Sergeant Thatcher was part of the Doolittle Raid, which is a prestigious part of the Army Air Corps and the Air Force lineage and history, and is looked at with great esteem for the sacrifices and the courage that this gentleman had in their mission.
Lieutenant General Matthew Quinn, U.S. Army National Guard, was also on hand for the funeral service. Quinn said that Staff Sergeant Thatcher was actually his neighborhood postal carrier in Missoula for years, and he had no idea of his World War II heroics.
A couple of years ago, we were at a military convention, and he spoke. And I went up to him afterwards, and I said, Mr. Thatcher, I had no idea. I grew up with you delivering. And his daughter was there, and she said, you know, it wasn't until a few years ago that I even realized.
Quinn said Thatcher lived a quiet life in Missoula and never drew attention to himself and his military career.
David Thatcher came home, put on a mailman's uniform, and delivered mail for 30 years. And that's all he wanted in life, to be with his family and to do his job. And like so many of the greatest generation in World War II, that's what we saw.
Following the ceremony, there were flyovers by a modern B-1 bomber and the vintage B-25, similar to the aircraft used in the Doolittle Raid. Governor Steve Bullock has ordered all flags in Montana to be flown at half-staff to honor one of the last members of the Doolittle Raiders, the airman who helped change the course of World War II. Retired Staff Sergeant David Jonathan Thatcher died Sunday in Missoula at the age of 94. Thatcher's death leaves retired Lieutenant Colonel Richard Dick Cole of Comfort, Texas, as the only living member of the Doolittle Raiders. He was at the service yesterday. On Sunday evening, a concerned citizen began following a vehicle through Missoula that was swerving erratically, and the other driver called police. Public Information Officer Travis Welsh picks up the story.
Just after 7 p.m., an officer was dispatched to the report of a traffic hazard, a vehicle traveling that was having a hard time maintaining its lane near the intersection of Kemp and South 3rd Street West. The officer eventually located the vehicle in trailer park at the intersection of South 3rd and Russell Street.
When the officer approached the vehicle, he found more than just another driver under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
There was also a small child in the lap of the adult male driver. When the officer arrived, he made contact with Mr. Jack Stearns, 46 years old, who is a Missoula resident, and subsequently arrested Mr. Stearns for criminal child endangerment as a result of driving while intoxicated.
Court documents reveal that Stearns told officers he was letting his 4-year-old girl drive the car. According to Welsh, the child is now safe. Authorities have identified a 38-year-old California man whose body was recovered from a southwestern Montana lake after he drowned in a kayaking accident. The Montana Standard reports Matthew Baylor's body was recovered from Storm Lake near Anaconda Sunday. The San Diego man had been camping with friends Saturday when he drowned in the incident. Anaconda-Deer Lodge County Assistant Chief Bill Sather said Baylor and another man had been paddling on the lake when a gust of wind overturned their kayaks. One man freed himself, was able to get to shore. However, the victim never surfaced. Rescue crews had searched the lake Saturday night for Baylor, but their efforts were unsuccessful. The victim wasn't found until Sunday morning. The body of another man who was reported missing last week has been found in Fresno Reservoir on the High Line. Hill County Sheriff Don Bostrom told the Haber Daily News yesterday that a volunteer on a jet ski discovered Jerry Donovan's body. Bostrom said the body was some distance from where Donovan's boat had previously been found. Donovan was last seen last Thursday. More than 100 volunteers were joined in the search. Valley County authorities confirmed that a Stevensville man who had been wanted for sex crimes took his own life Sunday after being pursued by officers from 3 different agencies. Under Sheriff Steve Holden identified the suspect as 44-year-old Chad Michael Robb.
There was a warrant for his arrest for sexual crimes that had been issued out of Ravalli County courts. And then we also had an order of protection that we needed to serve with him. We've been looking for him for, almost a week. And late Sunday afternoon, a Montana Highway Patrol officer located driving a vehicle in the 3-mile area east of Stevensville.
Holton said several vehicles pursued the suspect in what was described as a low-speed chase until he reached the 3-mile recreational area.
When he got up there and reached the end of the road, he exited his vehicle and he had a pistol in his hand. Refused to comply. The deputies gave him commands to drop the handgun and immediately took his own life with the weapon he had.
Ravalli County Sheriff Chris Hoffman and County Attorney Bill Fulbright have both asked Missoula County Sheriff T.J. McDermott to investigate that incident. The U.S. Supreme Court decided yesterday it would not hear the Montana Cannabis Industry Association's case against a state law which would restrict the number of clients that medical marijuana dispensaries can serve to just 3. Attorney James Getz represents the Montana Cannabis Industry Association and said his legal quiver isn't quite empty yet.
No, we have 1 or 2 more arrows left. The Montana case has been remanded to District Judge Reynolds in Helena, and we've asked him to stay the case because the medical marijuana issue is going to be on the ballot in November, and it's likely it'll pass.
Getz argues the political tide in Montana is shifting in the cannabis industry's favor. He expects a big win in November. The stricter laws, however, are set to kick in at the end of August.
It seems foolish to end the present program at the end of August and have that 2 months of confusion and deprivation of services to people in need. So we've asked the judge to extend the stay through the November election. The state's Attorney General Fox is opposing us on that.
If Judge Reynolds decides not to stay the case, Getz says he has at least one more legal tactic, but he said he didn't want to reveal what it might be before that tactic becomes necessary. A northwestern Montana newspaper editor has resigned amid questions about his involvement with an effort to recall the mayor of Libby. Bob Henline resigned from the Western News May 26th. The Libby newspaper reports Henline was clearing his desk June 2nd when he told General Manager Suzanne Resch that he helped write 2 drafts of a petition to recall Mayor Doug Roll. Resch says she does not condone newspaper employees taking part in the stories they cover. Henline says he believes the newspaper's role is to better the community. Roll told the Flathead Beacon he had suspected Henline of being involved with the recall effort. He accused Henline of manipulating the news to further his own agenda. Petition organizers have until September 17th to gather enough signatures to force a recall election. Our News Talk time now, 6:13.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Sunshine and summer-like weather expected again today with our high temperatures topping out in the upper 80s and low 90s. Winds will be fairly light at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with our low right around 50. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.